Marvellous. So we're starting out very similar to a lot of the other things we've been painting. And again, the really nice thing about flowers is that you can place them directly onto your page and really think about the composition. And I like flowers because they're so movable and they can work really nicely with text and image and handwriting. If you sort of consider, if I was placing it on a page and I knew that I wanted to write over here, I'm sort of considering that when I make the composition. And again, I'm going to just mark it out in pencil, which will help me get the proportions in. And if I was doing a large double page and I had multiple different flowers, it would also help me remember the composition I did at the beginning if I've moved some of them out of the way. So this lovely iris, I've just got the basic shape in there, and then I'll go in and simplify it into more shapes. Got the main petals on either side. It's got a strange stem with all these other little bits of leaves coming off. And you can spend much longer on this getting all the details in if you want to. And noting where the pale bits that I want to leave white are, because I'm remembering that we haven't got white in the palette. So anything, these lovely pale streaks, I'm going to leave those the white of the page. I'll move on to my pen quite quickly for this demo. And if you're drawing one of these irises and they've got a really long stem, you can snip the bottom off. I'll get some scissors so that they don't get in the way whilst you're drawing. And I'm really going to focus on sort of the imperfections in these petals, the leaves and the edges. You can create floral illustrations that are, simplified. You can draw an iris and it's very much an illustration of an iris rather than an accurate drawing. And as we're sort of coming to the end of the course, there's the opportunity to make more creative decisions, thinking actually maybe you want to do this without the pen, maybe you want to make this a really powerful wash that kind of goes out of the lines. That's quite a nice way to draw flowers. My iris is getting in the way. And you can hint at some of the texture and the shading if you want to. And again, I'm really trying to have confident lines with the stem of a flower in particular. They can be quite tricky to do because you want them to be straight and in the right position. But at the same time, if you're too hesitant about it, they can come out looking fluffy, which is not what we want. It's better to have a slightly wonky, confident line than a fluffy one. So you could spend much longer on this if you wanted to, add a bit more shading. But I think this is coming out okay. So at which point I can now rub out my pencil lines so that the watercolour doesn't set them on the page. The purple and the colours that we're going to use in this one is quite strong, so I could leave some of the pencil marks because the purple will likely cover them up. If we've got some of these lovely freesias, which are very pale in colour, and with that one you'd want to be careful to make sure that all the pencil marks are gone before I move on to the colour. Now what I will do is have a go at mixing some of the colours that I want to use. So we've got this in the palette, this Windsor Violet, which is this lovely purple colour. And it can be quite different depending on sort of how much you mix in with it. So this is a little bit of blue added. I could add a bit of cobalt blue rather than the indigo. Actually, I think that's slightly closer as a purple, so I can then go in with it directly on the brush. And flowers really do benefit from having this wet in wet technique, where I'm going to put all the colours in with quite a lot of water and quite a big wash so that they blend in with one another. And you can see that on some of these demonstration sheets I'll show you. I'll point them out after the demo. But where the colours sort of run into each other and mix gradually, it mimics that variegation that you see in real flowers, and you just can't get that if you let it dry in between. Go in and add a few more darks. And you could drop in a little bit of pure colour as well. It's a bit of cobalt blue. And what I might do is put that yellow in and see if it's powerful enough to push away the purple. You'd think that the purple would really overpower this yellow, but it's such a lovely colour. See how that dries. Slightly paler area there. And I'll move on to the green quite quickly. I can see there's a lot of yellow in this green, so I'm going to do a bit of an underlayer with the Windsor yellow. There's also a lot of blue in it, which is why the irises are really lovely to draw. I could go in with the blue on top of the yellow. This is cobalt blue. You can see I'm going out of the lines. I'm not being overly careful here, but it will still look like a lovely flower if I'm not too precious about it. These paints are quite dry, so I'm really getting them going.
And would you tend to put on the lighter colour first?
Yes, generally I'd work light to dark. I can put a little bit more cobalt blue in here. There's so much blue in the irises. They're a really beautiful colour. And I do want some of that yellow to show through. And it's an example of where you can over-mix colours and they go murky. If I let them do their own thing, they'll dry in their own way, and it'll be quite interesting, rather than in a murky mix. I will put a little bit more purple on and a bit of yellow in here. The green is likely to run into this whilst it's still wet. So there are places where you can say, I want to let this dry so that the green, especially with the freesias, these ones here, they've got this lovely pale colour, and if I put the green in whilst I had a wash on the white, it would all bleed in, so you can be a bit more careful about those. A little bit more yellow. I'm not going to overwork it too much, because I want to let this first layer dry. I think I might have to just let that bit dry, see how it comes out. And then I could go in with another layer once, some of this top area is dry, and really pick out the darks, the darker purple areas. And really work into it. And then, you can add another layer. Some of these example sheet ones have got some of them you can see, for example, the dandelion. I've put in some orange as a second layer after the first one had dried slightly lighter than I wanted it to. And you can go in and just brighten those highlights. So there's my example of the iris, and I will show you the shadows later. But it's such a nice, it's very similar to what we've been doing. And hopefully we'll get on well with that. Have you got any questions?
No.